Hello everybody, it's a warm welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have two games for you. First up, we have a team near the top of the table, and then we play a team near the bottom of the table. Match days 7 and 8 in League One. Hello, and it's a very warm welcome to episode 85 of From the Bottom to the Top, as we try and take a National League South side, in this case Weymouth, from the bottom all the way up to the top. And this is our journey. My name's Mark, and on today's episode, as mentioned, we have two games for you. First up, we play Reading at the Bob Lucus, and then we have a trip to Lincon. Lincon Cathedral, I think. Been there. It's very nice as well. Lincon Cathedral, or Lincon City, should I say, not Lincon Cathedral, but Lincon Cathedral is there. Playing them in League One, of course, match day 7 and 8. And hopefully it will keep our upward momentum going, because since you were last with us, we have played two games. Those two games have, one was in the EFL Trophy, our first game in the EFL Trophy, and the other one was in League One. And we've done okay. We've done okay. We'll have a look at those in just a moment. But don't forget, if you do enjoy today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the series so far. Let me know what you'd like to see me do more of, and let me know what you'd like me to see me do in FM25. You can find everything that's going on this channel. This series, our other series, Going Dutch, the tutorial videos, how to put kits into the game, those sort of things, and also our shirt videos. You can find out when all that is being released and what new things we've got, ideas we're coming up with, simply by following me on X at JustOffsideFM. That's how to do it. Right, as I said, since you were last with us, we have played a couple of games. Last time out, we played Southampton in the Caribou Cup, lost on penalties. Wasn't a massive loss, but it was a loss on penalties all the same. Knocked us out second round, which one stage further than we went last year. Then we beat Wigan by a single goal. A Tom Lorpender on 60 minutes, giving us that win away from home. A nice win that was too. Since you've been with us, we've played the under-21s from Southampton. I'm just wondering, actually, just out of curiosity, we can't see the teams here, can we? Let's have a look at the teams in this one. I'm wondering if there's some of the players. Joe Smith, Curtis Loveland, Fry, Daly. Just wondering whether there was any, if they played a lot of under-21s in there. Curtis, yeah, he's in there. Maybe a few of them played in both matches. Anyway, as it was, it was this one, EFL Trophy Southern Section Group E. First of three matches. The other ones we may or may not see on the channel. It all started reasonably well. Half time, 0-0. We were hanging on in there. Southampton under-21s, obviously not to be dismissed or anything such like. And it was Ben Jones for Southampton that got them in front after 48 minutes. Pearce out wide, and if I can pause that. Who was that out there with him? It was Nzingo who was out there with him, because he's on that wing. Holman as well. Crossed in, and it's Jones heading that one in. 48 minutes on the clock. Southampton under-21s 1, Weymouth 0. And then just literally 2 minutes after that, Wakachu scored the equaliser. Linton with the ball in. Curtis heads it away, but it's brought down by Nzingo, who teed up Wakachu. Wakachu putting it in the back of the net. 1-1 then after 50 minutes, and that's the way it stayed, and it went straight to penalties. If for those of you not aware, in this competition, you get a point for a draw, 2 points if you win the penalty shootout, 3 points for a win. So it was a point apiece, but we could gain an extra point, a bonus point then if you like, by winning the penalty shootout. And, we scored 4 of ours. Wakachuk, Darcy, Whittingham and Johnson, the scorers. Everybody scored that needed to score. They scored. Doyle and Thomas scored their penalties, missed by Baker and Curtis. I'm not quite sure what order they went in, actually, from memory. But Danny Baker, there he is. Looks nothing like Danny Baker. Anyway, that's how it ended up, and we beat them 4-2 on penalty. 6 shots, 2 on target, 0.54. 73% of the possession we had in that game. They had 9 shots, 3 on target, 0.90, and 27% of the possession. Well, we have points on the board. If we have a look at the table as it stands, everybody played 1 game. Peterborough are top. They had a win over Barnet. And go top. We are in second place on 2 points by virtue of that 1 point bonus for a penalty win. And Southampton under 21s in third place on a point. Barnet bottom on 0 points. The next match is at Barnet Place, Southampton under 21s. And we are away to Peterborough. That's how it goes. So the other game that we played while you were offline was in League One. It was against Burton Albion, and a resounding, and I don't know why we don't play like this all the time, a resounding 4-0 win, and we got on the mark. In fact, we should have been off the mark before this, but the shot was saved, but we kept plugging away, and eventually it came via an own goal. This ball cleared upfield. G comes forward. Patterson, and it's fired in, and Henry Francis deflects it past Smith to avoid the ball going across the front of goal and somebody to step into it. So a lead then after 3 minutes. 27 minutes in, Will Armitage added a second, and I'm guessing it's from a corner. Linton swings this in. Armitage up above the defenders. 2-0 after 27. 39 minutes. Billy G gets his first of 2 in this game. Patterson out wide. Pulls it back to Lopenda. Lopenda sets up G. G merrily comes into the penalty area and puts it past the goalie Smith in the Burton Albion goal. And then just to round it off for a 4-0 half-time lead, an unassailable lead by the looks of it, Billy G added his second, our fourth. Linton with a corner. It swung in, and Billy G getting up. Sorry, no, Billy G didn't get up. We'll have that again, actually, because I'm trying to work out who did get up. We'll pause it this time. Swung in. It was Olsen, actually. Olsen gets up, heads it down. Goalkeeper manages to parry it, but only into the path of G, who's coming in on that side, and puts it away for his second, as I say, our fourth. And that's how it ended. It was pretty damp squib in the second half, but we'd done what we needed to do. 23 shots, 13 on target, 2.99 and 66% of the possession. They had 9 shots, 3 on target, 0.61 and 34% of the possession, which means the table going into today's games looks awfully like this. Oxford United still lead the pack without a loss so far this season. They've won 5, drawn 1, 16 points for. We are in second on 15 points. Waiting for Oxford to slip up, maybe. And then there's a 3-point cap to Stockport County, who are in third place. Sheffield Wednesday, fourth on 11 points. In fact, there's a number of teams on 11 points, 5 teams, in fact. And I say separated by goal difference. 4 of them have got the same goal difference. Notts County are in 5th. Reading, our first opponents of the day, are in 6th. Salford are in 7th. Walsall are in 8th. They've the only one with a slightly different goal difference. Then 3 teams on 10. Peterborough, Birmingham and Exeter City. And then down the bottom end of the table, Chesterfield, Wigan, Burton Albion and Shrewsbury are in the drop zone. But at the moment, because we're so early in the season, there's still anybody can go down. I would suggest pretty much from Charlton down. They're only 4 points adrift of that, or even maybe Derby County to some extent. Yeah, they'll be looking over their shoulders. Lincon City, our second opponents, are currently in 18th place, having lost 3, won 1 and drawn 1 of their last 5. Right, I don't think there's a great else to tell you. We'll check the medical centre. Luke Campbell is out. He's out for still another 4 to 7 weeks with that dislocated shoulder, so we won't see him very, very soon. But that is pretty much it. Nothing else happened on the transfer market as we closed it, I think, before we left last time out, or if we didn't, then I can pretty much confirm there wasn't any other activity. Transfer history. The only one I'm not too sure about, I think Yale Virginia had come in before we left last time, but obviously we got to the transfer window snapping shut on the 1st of September. Nothing happened. Nobody going out either. So that is how it's all set up for today's episode. And it's Reading first up, then Lincon City. Reading at the Bob Lucus. We are without Luke Campbell, who is a dislocated shoulder. Kevin Candlish is suspended. He's basically got too many yellow cards. And we've got 2 players who are in on trial. Reading have a full team to pick from. We've not played Reading before in this save, so let's go and have a look at the team that will face Reading. And here they are. Virginia is in goal then. Armitage, Olsen and G are defensive line. Linton and Johnson, the wide complete wing backs. Byron and Lorpenda are between them. Patterson is out on the left. Darcy is out on the right. Wakachoo continues up front. And then on the bench, it's Hollingshead, Ransom, Holman, Whittingham, Ayamang, Ninzingo, and Jebison. And here we are back at the Bob Lucas with our formation. Back 3. 2 defensive midfielders. Reading faces today. Max Porter is their manager. Playing a 4-2-3-1 today. We are Reading are 6th on 11 points. We are 2nd on 15. And a free kick 4 minutes in. Elliott over the ball. And it's a shot, but it's well over the top. 20 minutes on the clock. We have a free kick this time. Darcy standing over it. Darcy has a shot. Oh, ripple on net. I thought he'd gone in. Holmes for Reading. Armitage heads that back to Linton. Olsen threads that through to Johnson. Johnson to Darcy. Darcy's tackled, but Wakachoo's in. Wakachoo puts it away. Wakachoo is doing well. 4th goal of the season for Wakachoo. And on 32 minutes, we take a lead. Johnson to Darcy. In fact, Darcy didn't get to that, but Wakachoo did. And Wakachoo puts it away. Lorpenda to Darcy. Johnson is out wide here. Johnson inside to Darcy, who's being marked pretty well. But that's through to Johnson again. Johnson cuts it back. It's pulled back. G has a go, but couldn't curl it in. Half-time has arrived. We've had 5 shots, 2 on target, 0.60. 55% of the possession. They've had 3 shots, just the 1 on target, 0.21. And 45% of the possession. We have a goal lead at half-time. It'd be nice to have a little bit more of a cushion. And we've been forced into making 1 change at half-time. This down to the fact that Jordan Byron has picked up a potential knee injury. He's injured and wants to come off, so we've taken him off. And we've brought on Terrell Agumang. Olsen with a free kick, 59 minutes on the clock to Armitage. Agumang, come on off for half-time. Linton. It's nice, steady moving it around. Olsen goes back to Virginia. Goes out to Linton. Olsen. Agumang. And he's given that ball away, Agumang. That was poor. Over the top. Price is in. And Price flashes it wide. And Angimang, I don't know what he was trying to do, but it was a poor ball. Price had the chance, but it was being closed down. And I think Virginia closed the angle as well for him. And with 65 minutes on the clock, making one other change, Josiah Linton not having a good day out there. He's got a yellow card as well. So we've taken him off, and we've brought on Matt Whittingham. They have a free kick, 75 minutes. Hurst, a number of changes as well. Let's come back off the woodwork. And with 76 minutes on the clock, we're making a couple more changes. Tom Lupenda, he's tiring. We've replaced him with Harry Ransom, Angamang and Ransom swapping, basically because Ransom is better as the deep lying playmaker. And the other change that we made is Travis Patterson has come off. Whittingham moving up into his place. Johnson switching sides and Holman coming on in the left. And with 86 minutes on the clock, making our final change, Nzingo is on for Ronan Darcy, who is tiring on the right there. And we've got just a few minutes. Hopefully, we can see the game out and secure another 1-0 win. And it's all over. We have secured a 1-0 win. And that goal from Wakachu after 32 minutes. Good goal. And he gets player of the match. One key pass and a goal. A number of other players picking up green average ratings as well. 8 shots, 5 on target, 0.90 and 59% of the possession. Reading had 8 shots, 2 on target, 0.61 and 41% of the possession. It's another good win. Let's go and see how that leaves us in the table. So a roundup on the rest of the day's scores, and the top one to look at is Oxford United have beaten Ipswich Town by a goal to nil. Joel Cottrell from the penalty spot after 21 minutes keeps them on top, 19 points from their first 7 games. They've just dropped just 2 points, that draw against Walsall. The only 2 points they've dropped. We have 18 points. We've lost that one game, of course, the opening day of the season against Salford, who are tucked in behind us. They are up to 3rd, having played and won against Shrewsbury today, a 3-1 win. Notts County, they were 3-2 victors over Chesterfield. Walsall, they played and beat. Did they beat? Yes, they did. 3-1 against Exeter City. And then Peterborough, we'll face, I think, in the next episode, if my memory serves me right. Peterborough move up into 6th place on 13 points. They have played today and beaten Burton Albion by 3 goals to 1. Birmingham just outside the playoff places as it stands at the minute in 7th place. They are 1-0 victors over Derby County today. It does mean that we've got a 4-point gap over Salford at the top of the table, which is quite nice even at this stage of the season to have a 4-point gap. So Oxford and us are making the early run-in. A lot can change, of course, but that's how it's looking after 7 games. Down the bottom, Rotherham, Chesterfield, Burton Albion and Shrewsbury all in the drop zone. Carlisle, Wigan pulling themselves out of there by virtue of a 3-0 win against Wycombe. So they are up to 19th now. Lincoln, our second opponents of the episode, still in 18th place. How did they get on? There was a 2-2 draw against Sheffield Wednesday. That's how it has gone. I can tell you the bit of news about the injury to Jordan Byron. It's nothing sinister, thankfully. Good job we brought him off, really. 1 to 2 days he's going to be out for. We got 7 days down to the next game, so he should be okay for the next game. And hopefully he will be back in the side, or at the very least on the bench for this one. So that's all good news. Right, second game of the episode, Lincon City then. We'll come back just ahead of that game with any news. Oh, here we are at match day against Lincon City. They are without Sam Long, who has a broken hand, Brooke Fowley, who's out with a twisted ankle. We've got 2 players unregistered, and Luke Campbell doubtful with a dislocated shoulder. They also have Abdi doubtful with a pulled groin. We have played Lincoln twice before, friendly at the Bob Lucus, 4-1 loss on that occasion. That was back in 2024. Hackett, O'Connor, House, and I wonder if Ben House. And Osin Gallagher, the scorers for Lincoln. Angel Warith, the scorer for Weymouth. I'm just thinking he probably may have been before our time. I'm not too sure, because those names don't ring a bell. And then we played them in the Caribou Cup first round, where we lost by a 0-0. Kyle Joseph, the scorer on that occasion, that back in 2027, back last year then. So that was the scoreline then. Let's go and see if we can beat them today. And here is the team that faces Lincon City in the Sky Bet League Match 8. And we are away to them today. It is a pretty much unchanged side. There is only one change to the side that beat Reading in the first game of the episode. Candlish is in on the left instead of Linton. Otherwise, it's the same. Virginia, Armitage, Olsen and G. I really don't know which way you're around to pronounce that. We'll call him G. Are the defensive line. Candlish then in for Linton on the left. Johnson continues on the right. Byron and Lorpender in between them two. Patterson on the left. Darcy on the right. Wakachu up front. Hollingshead, Ransom, Holman, Whittingham, Agyemang, Nzingo and Jefferson make the bench. And here we are at Lincoln. Darren Young, their manager, playing a conventional 4-4-2 today. Don't see that very often these days. We're playing our by now familiar formation. 6 games won on the trot in the league. Not in all competitions, but in the league. We are second on 18 points. Lincoln 18th with 6 points. And the first highlight, ball through, tied it up. Lependa not getting rid of it though, and nothing coming of it. We have a corner, 17 minutes. Johnson with the corner, swung in. Goalkeeper saves it, and it's Billy G on that far side. He's offside though, it won't count. Swung in, and Armitage gets the header. Goalkeeper Dwyer parries it. I'm not so sure. 21 on the clock now. Gardner Hickman, ex-Bristol City player, of course. Candlish trying to shepherd him up. Gardner Hickman, Joseph, and cut out by Armitage. Nice ball, Patterson. No way through there. Armitage goes out to Candlish. Candlish inside of Patterson. Not quite sure. Or Pender. Pender to Darcy. Darcy nearly losing that ball. Bringing it back, Olsen. G throws it through to Johnson. Johnson now, all he needs to do is cross it in for Wakachu. That's not offside. 5th goal of the season for Wakachu. On 22 minutes, we take a 1-0 lead. And it was nicely constructed. G through to Johnson, and then you could see the writing on the wall here. Johnson, all he had to do was cross it in. And another assist for Johnson. A goal for Wakachu. Thrown on that far side. Longello. Joseph. Lancaster. Thompson. Gardner Hickman. And a minute they've been forced back, but Candlish out here. Somebody needs to step in and win that ball. Wakachu does exactly that. He's through to Darcy. Darcy goes out wide. He's got the support of Lependa. Byron, Candlish on the overlap. Candlish now. Candlish just needs to cross this in, but it was a poor ball in the end. And here we are. Half time has arrived. We've had 7 shots, 4 of which have been on target, 0.91 and 61% of the possession. They've had 3 shots, just the one on target, 0.31 and 39% of the possession. I think the Billy G was a goal, to be fair. I think he was onside. Couldn't see all of it, but Wakachoo getting us the lead after 22, after Carl Johnson sent in a lovely cross that all he had to do was flick it on, but that's what he's good at. Just on the hour mark, Johnson with a corner, swings it in. Armitage there, couldn't get anything on it. Wakachoo, it's bouncing about there. Just over the top from Lopenda. See this ball in, Armitage getting up to it, but defended well. Olsen cutting it back for Wakachoo. Wakachoo, it took a deflection off of Candlish, and then Armitage into the path of Lopenda. Lopenda putting it wide. 64-65 on the clock. Candlish and Byron working together with that throw in. Byron, way off target. With 76 minutes on the clock, making 4 changes. Will Armitage is off. Harry Ransom comes on for him. Travis Patterson is off. Matt Whittingham comes on for him. Ronan Darcy is replaced by Nzingo. And then the final change is Wakachoo is off up front. We're giving Jebison a run out. Free kick. Lancaster. Longello. And he's got written all over it. And Gee getting in, blocking the shot. And it's gone out for a corner. We have to defend this corner. This one swung deep. It's headed away by Candlish convincingly for a change. Thomason, Jones, going to recycle it though. Longello and Johnson getting rid of it. We are going to see the throw in. 88 minutes on the clock. Thomason, no, it's headed away. Whittingham, no. And we've defended, I have to say, we have defended very, very well through that sequence. Lancaster first. It was blocked by Gee. And we're nearly 89 minutes on the clock, making our final change. Tom Openda is off, and we've brought on Terrell Angyamang. With those changes made, Ransom with a free kick. This one fired long, looking for Nzinga, but it's headed wide. Johnson is out there. Johnson, can he get into a crossing? Pulls it back for him. Lopenda. And his second goal of the season. It's 2-0 on 90 minutes. And we have secured a win against Lincon City. Never beaten them before. But we have today, looking for Nzingo. Nzingo, I think, headed it out, or the defender did. Johnson in there. Johnson pulls it back, and it's in the back of the net. 3 minutes are in the 3rd minute of the added time. Throwing on this side, Johnson with the throw-in through to Nzingo. Nzingo's been brought down, and there's a penalty as well. So it could be 3-0, boys and girls. Well, depends on whether puts it away. Who's going to take the penalty? It's Jebison. Jebison sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. And his first goal of the season. First goal for us, possibly. And Daniel Jebison makes it 3-0 on 93. It's all over and looks like a 1-0 win for a long while. 2 goals in injury time. Openda right on time. And then 3 minutes in, a penalty for Daniel Jebison, giving us the win. 14 shots, 8 of which were on target, 2.52 on the XG, 61% of the possession. Lincon City have had 9 shots, 3 on target, 0.89, and 39% of the possession. It's another win. Carl Johnson getting a player of the match, 5 key passes, 3 clear-cut chances created, 2 assists in that game, and he's had a 5 day out there. And Yale, Virginia, also had a fine day. There is one thing I want to say about Yale, Virginia, but I think it might put the mockers on it, and that is he's kept a clean sheet since he's been with us. Well, another win, and we keep up that momentum at the top of the table. 7 games unbeaten in the league since our loss on the opening day of the season against Salford City, but we just need to keep chugging along, because Oxford United are not giving up any pace at all. They've won 3-0 today against Wycombe Wanderers at home, helped by the fact that Hannah was sent off after 17 minutes, but even so. So they've got a good result there. We are in second place on 21, just 1 point behind them, and there's a 4-point gap down to Notts County, who are in third. They've moved up to third place. They are 2-1 winners today over Ipswich Town. Walsall move up into fourth place. They were 2-1 winners against Carlisle. Couldn't find it for a minute. Charlton Athletic move up into fifth. 3-1 winners over Peterborough. And then Birmingham are in the last playoff place as it stands at the moment. Literally on goal difference, there are two other sides on 14 points, and then Exeter and Peterborough and Sheffield Wednesday and Stockport County all on 13. But Reading just outside on goal difference. They are in 7th place. They must have won today. They did against Derby. 3-1 winners. Salford City, they dropped down into 8th. They must have lost. They did 3-1 to Burton Albion. And then, as I said, you got Exeter and Peterborough down there with Sheffield Wednesday and Stockport all on 13. And then in the drop zone, Burton Albion are in there. Or in fact, they're pulling out of there a little bit by virtue of that win today. Carlisle in 22nd, Chesterfield in 23rd. Shrewsbury on the bottom on 24 points. But as I said, there's a lot of teams. I would say Derby down pretty much in that quag at the bottom there, including Ipswich Town, who in real life are in the Premier League, which seems a bit surprising in itself, doesn't it? So there we go. That is today's results. That's how it all ends up going into the break between episodes. We were going to come back for Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough in the league, but due to international games, I think there is a bit of a gap here now. Maybe a 2-week gap. No, it's not. Anyway, but there was games being played against Peterborough. In fact, we had back-to-back games, but that has been moved out now and won't be played until November. So we are going to come back for Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough in the next episode. And then I think we're going to have back-to-backs for a little bit just to work our way through. And then we'll be working our way down here somewhere. Right, so Sheffield Wednesday, who are currently in 11th place. Peterborough, who are top of the table at the moment. Oh, no, they're not. Sorry, I'm looking at top of the EFL Trophy Southern Section, Group E. We're going to see that game, or are we? Yes, we will. We'll come back for that game. And then we might just jump down, miss Rotherham out and catch Rotherham in the second half of the season and work our way down somehow or other. We'll work it out. I'll work it out. But we are going to come back for Sheffield Wednesday. Peterborough in the ELFL Trophy Southern Section, Group E, Match Day 2. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button. That keeps you up to date with all that's happening on this channel, especially the bottom to the top, and our other series Going Dutch lets you know when they are released. New episodes bottom to the top released every Tuesday and Friday, 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date what's happening on this channel is follow me on X at JustOffside2. Keeps you up to date with all the videos that we do, whatever genre that they are, in as much as if they're tutorials, shirts, let's play series or whatever, it will all come through on X. So that's the best way of keeping up to date. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. It's going to be episode 86. It's out on Tuesday. Until then, have yourselves a great weekend. Bye bye.